Hello, my name is Gina, and I am from the United States. And this is my second time at this retreat. I came here last March as well. This time it's a little bit different though. I'm not actually fasting, I just came for the treatments. So I guess I'll start with um, why I'm here. So since about 2013, I've developed chronic migraines. So I had those for years on many different kind of medications. Nothing really, helped the pain for a while, but then nothing really worked. Then in 2018, I developed occipital neuralgia, which was 10 times worse than the migraines. And what that is it's chronic pain in the back of your head. It's burning, throbbing, and I get flares. So when I'm not in a flare, I don't feel the pain. Um, but but I can still like have achiness or whatever, but it's not the horrific pain. And when I get a flare, it's just unbearable. It's horrible, and it's 24/7 pain. I tried medication from the doctor, nothing even touched that pain. So you just have to suffer through. And so I get no sleep because I'm in so much pain. And I've had the flares last anywhere from 3 months to my longest was 8 months. And I was actually considering assisted suicide in Switzerland. I was checking into it because I just felt like I was being tortured every day because I was in so much pain. And I had just come off an 8 month flare. And then about 6 months later, like clockwork, I got another flare. I was 3 months into it. I was crying all the time. I wasn't sleeping. I was just in so much pain. And my son finally says, Mom, why don't you just try fasting? So I'm like, okay. But I've never done it before. I didn't know anything about fasting. So I started a water fast. And by the third day, my pain actually decreased the level. By the 10th day, and this is the first time I've ever fasted in my life, by the 10th day, the pain was completely gone. So I fasted 2 more days, just water fasting. And during that time, because it was working, I went and I was on Facebook. I joined a bunch of fasting groups. And from there, because I didn't know how to break a fast, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't want to hurt myself. So from there, I found Michelle Slater and Dr. Filonov. Well, actually, I think I found Michelle Slater, read her book, and that's how I found Dr. Filonov. And then I just poured myself into anything that I could find from what Dr. Filonov said. So I was watching lectures and all this other stuff, whatever I could get my hands on the computer. So, anyways, so then I started dry fasting and I started slow. So I would do like 1 day, but then if I would get a flare again, I would start a fast, and the dry fasting even worked better. It's allowed me to keep the pain level down, and then some of the fasts I've done with the long fast, since I've been doing it correctly. I mean, even before, I've been fasting for about 3 years now, but correctly, probably about, I don't know, a year and a half maybe. Um, but even the incorrect fasts, they still worked. Like one time I fasted for 6 days, and it took the occipital pain away. What it does is it'll actually knock, when I start fasting, it knocks down the pain level so it never gets to that excruciating level. But anyways, so last year at the retreat, I lasted 7 days, but I had just done a 9 day, 21 days before coming because I had an occipital flare, so I needed to get rid of it. Well, just a few months ago, I had another occipital flare, and I actually got it while I was fasting. I was on my second day of a fast. Um, so I fasted 7 days because prior to that, I had just done a 9 day fast, and I just was sick of fasting. But it didn't take it away. When I broke my fast, the pain level came back. So then after 5 days, I went into another 9 day dry fast. And then it took a while after that fast for the pain to go completely away, but it kept the pain level tolerable. And So now that was about 2 months ago, and now I'm at the retreat. And when I did a consultation with Dr. Filonov to find out, what I could do, and the fasting itself has cut my migraine pain by like 80%. I don't have them hardly ever. I used to be in bed all day long with pain, um, but now Dr. Filonov said there's more going on. I have, structural issues and other stuff going on. So he thought the treatments would be very helpful. So that's why I'm here, because in the United States, they're no help. The doctors just want to do all kinds of surgeries on me, and none of them are successful. Nothing. There's no cure for this in the U.S. Um, so I don't know what else to do. And so far, Dr. Filonov has not steered me wrong. He's the best holistic doctor I have ever discovered in my life, and I trust him wholeheartedly. They initially told me to try and find somebody that does leech therapy by me, and then somebody that can do proper massages. I did find one lady. I live about 3 hours from Chicago, so I found a lady in Chicago that sounded. She was trained by Russians. She sounds like she does the leeches just like these guys do at the retreat. But it was such a trip, and then I couldn't find anybody to do massages, and I just wanted to make sure I got it done correctly. So I decided I'd rather come here and get the best. And that way, if I need more, I'll see what they exactly do here so I know who to trust. Because I really trust Dr. Filonov and his team. Um, so that's pretty much why I'm here. I've also It's not just like the treatments and the fasting. I have changed a lot of things in my life too. I stay away from as much toxins as I can. I'm completely chemical free in my house. I make all my own household cleaners. I never eat out. I eat as clean as you can in the United States. I think we have the worst food in the world. It's pretty toxic. But I buy organic. Now, I don't know how much better it is, but I buy organic. I cook all my own food. I don't eat anything processed. I use all natural products on myself, on my hair, on my skin. And I think that makes a big difference too. You'd be surprised. But yeah, so one of the reasons I'm not fasting is because leeches are I think, one of the most important things they're going to be doing for me. And I can't have leeches while I'm fasting, and they want to make sure I can get as many treatments in. So I guess I don't really have anything else to say today. So thanks.
It is the second day of the retreat, and it's been beautiful out today. It was perfect weather, sunny skies, and just gorgeous with the mountains and the sea. And today I had my first treatment of leeches, and that was very interesting. They also did the saline solution along your spine. It really doesn't hurt that badly, and they're so nice. The people that do the treatments, the therapists, they're so gentle and nice and kind. I just can't say enough good about everybody here. Anyways, so I had that done first, and then they put leeches on my liver today. I had 5 leeches and never had that done before. And I think they left them on around 30 minutes or so. And then now I have to drink a lot of water. So it's kind of strange being here and not fasting with everybody and just getting the treatments done. But Dr. Filonov, with my occipital neuralgia, I think leeches are really important. At least that's what I've taken from how they've stressed that. So, but I'm sure there's other things they're going to do too. I just don't know what at this time. But I think they're talking about maybe doing up to 5 times the leeches, something like that is the maximum, right? So I don't know. I mean, and then I think you can have them every 3 days. So I'm staying for both retreats so I can get as much in as I possibly can. So, yeah. So anyways, with all this pain and stuff, one of the things that I think about is, at times before I discovered Dr. Filonov and all the healing that has come in from the fast, I feel like I have a life again. But before that, when I felt like I didn't have a life because I was in such pain, I was in bed most of the time. I would just cry out to God and say, just kill me. Why don't you just kill me? I don't understand this. What is the purpose of this, you know? And I've come to the realization that I may never know. You know, I don't know why I got chosen to be in this chronic pain all the time. But I know God has a purpose for it, and I might not find out until I get to heaven someday. But I will say I think God had his hand in it for me finding Dr. Filonov. I know my son, when I had that occipital flare, and my son came to me because I was, you know, wasn't sleeping, I was in pain for 3 months, and he told me to fast. He said, God put that on his heart, you know, tell your mother to fast, because he had been experimenting a little bit just with some water fasts here and there. He hadn't done a lot of research and hadn't done a lot of it, but he kind of knew about it. So he's the one that steered me onto it, but he's like, it was totally God, because he said he never thought of it, and all of a sudden he had, you know, God put that on his heart to share that with me. And then it's just escalated from there, and I feel like I owe my life to Dr. Filonov and his team, because they've been, I can't believe the difference. I feel like I have a life back. But I don't regret having the pain. I mean, if I could have gone through life without pain, yeah, that would be wonderful. But there is a lot of good that has come out of this too, because since I've been in the pain, I have like totally turned, I used to trust doctors, and, you know, and they have, if I would have stuck with them, they would have killed me. They just wanted to put me on one drug after the other, and, you know, they were just trying to put a bandage on something, and then they wanted to do all these surgeries. And I'm like, I've had enough. So I've really turned holistic, and I don't think I would have done that hadn't I ever gotten the pain. And, you know, in the US anyways, I don't know exactly how it is if other places, but it's pretty bad as far as chemicals and everything, pushing vaccinations, pushing pills. The food supply is not healthy most of the time because our soil's so depleted. And, you know, kids are getting so sick so early in life. They're getting, you know, autoimmune disease. I never heard of an autoimmune disease when I, you know, in the 80s. I never heard of that. It's like they find a sickness, an illness that you're probably getting because you're toxic, because of the food you're eating and all the medicines and vaccines you're getting. And then so you develop these symptoms, and then they can put a name on it, so then they can prescribe another pill for you because that's supposed to help take care of those symptoms. So it's a vicious circle, and it just never ends. And for me, I have my children and my grandchildren, and I'm just grateful because they all see how I've been living, and they all have just, I mean, they're all living very healthy now, and they all want to fast too. And I know, like, with being younger, having young kids, it's not always easy. You know, I'm retired, so I don't have anything to stop me, so I get that, but they want to do it, and they have the desire, and they're, you know, they watch what they eat, and they're careful about, you know, what they give to their kids. And so it's just created a healthier lifestyle, and I hope, you know, because of this, that they won't have to ever go through what I went through, because they're going to be healthier. And the fact that if even one person, I don't know how inspiring I am, but is inspired by my story, if I can even help one person to dry fasting where it could heal them, you know, that's worth it. It is day 3 of the retreat, and it is a beautiful day again. It's going good. Of course, I'm not fasting. I'm getting treatments. Today they did a very intense back massage, which felt very good. Neck gets a little bit sore, though. I have neck issues anyways. That's why I'm here. But because they should have those things that you can put your head in, but they don't. So you have to crank your neck while you're getting the massage. But it's all good. They're really good at it. But I just wanted to kind of say what brought me here. I think I maybe covered it a little bit, but in 2023 is when I was having another occipital flare. And then I found Michelle Slater's book. I started water fasting, and then that brought me to Dr. Filonov. And then, so I read his book too. He's got a book out there, but at the time I didn't know it, but the English version of the book is not correct. It's kind of an interpretation of the book. And So I was trying to copy things out of there to figure out how to fast because I was going to do it on my own. I think, I don't even know if I knew, I don't even think I knew there was retreats here at that time. So, but I think I did know about the website, and I had thought about scheduling a consultation. I just hadn't. So I did do a 6-day, or I started dry fasting a little bit, like a day or two here and there, but I didn't understand it because I know I kept journals. So I kept journals on every day I fasted, how many hours, and it's not measured in hours. So I would put fasted 24 hours, broke my fast at 6 at night. That's not how it goes. That's not a true fasting. So I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was making an effort. So I attempted a 6-day dry fast, and I'm not exactly sure. I don't think I knew about the 5 in the morning breaking it, so I don't really know how many days. So say it was at least 5 days of an honest dry fast. I didn't touch water, and I think I did everything right, but I did not break it properly because I didn't know about that. And then, so that was in 2023, and then 2024, the beginning of it, I got another occipital flare, and I went into a fast right away because that really holds the pain level down. And then after I broke my fast, I lasted 7 days. That's when I decided to make the consultation. So I was a couple days after breaking my fast, and I made a consultation with Dr. Filonov. And it was the first time I met them. Before then, though, I was watching anything on YouTube that I could get. So I did find some lectures from the retreat on YouTube. So I did know about it at that time. And I was, just trying to drink it all in. So the first time I met him in my consultation, they're, of course, asking me, I told them I just finished this fast and blah, blah, blah. And, well, how did you break it? And I'm like, well, I drank some bone broth. And then I'm telling them this. And they're like, they were so sweet about it, though. And Svetlana's like, well, you can't, you're ruining your healing if you have that. That's meat, So they were just teaching me so much. So after talking to them, I realized, if you're going to go through all this work of dry fasting, and it's work, it is hard work, dry fasting, why wouldn't you do it properly and go with somebody that knows what they're talking about? Dr. Filonov has been doing this for 40 years. He knows what he's doing. And, why put in forth all that effort to ruin it if you don't break it properly? So I got really serious at that time. And so then they told me to do the 21-day cleanse and then think about coming to the retreat. So that's what I did. After I recovered a little bit, I started the cleanse, did that. And then I think I booked the retreat right away to come last March. And my son was having all the health issues too, so he actually came with me. And you can see his testimony out there as well. He did it this last year. His name is Rudy, if anybody's interested. He's, a younger testimonial, so for younger people, they might appreciate that better. But anyway, so then I came to the first retreat. But before the retreat, I don't think I had done a 9-day fast on my own yet. I think the longest I had gone was 7 days. But I got an occipital flare about, a month and a half before the retreat. So I had to fast because otherwise the pain gets so bad, and fasting is the only thing that helps. So I did a 9-day fast. The last day of my 9-day fast was 21 days before I came to the retreat. So I did that. And then I came to the retreat, and I tell you, the difference between fasting at home and fasting at the retreat is like night and day. You have so much support here. Other people are fasting. The conditions are perfect. You get to go outside and walk. People are walking all over. You have the beach. You have the sea. It's just, when I'm at home, it's so dry. And and it's like you want to be outside. You want to be in nature. It just draws you as you get longer in your fast. And here, you can go lay on the beach at night if you want to. And it's just, the conditions are just so perfect. It's just so much, I can't even describe the difference. It's just so much nicer. Plus the fact that everything's prepared for you to break the fast. You don't have to work on any food or anything to get yourself. When I fast at home, I've done several fasts now because I've been doing this for about 3 years now. I've done 4 9-day, a few 8-day, a few 7-day, several 5-day. I get a lot of occipital flares, so I have to do a lot of fasting. Dr. Filonov doesn't really want me to fast that much because there's something more going on. That's why I'm here now. But when I do fast at home, and if I get a flare, I have to go into a fast, otherwise the pain level gets so bad. So I'm making myself compote and soup and all this other stuff, and it's doable. So you can do that at home, but I recommend coming here first so you do it properly. And then I have it in the freezer, so then when I break my fast, I can take everything out. But it's a lot of preparation. And here, the food is so good, and they know exactly what to give you, and it's not stressful, and it's just so nice. So I highly recommend coming here. And now, after the last retreat, which was great, my son, in fact, he's young, so he actually healed his eyesight on the fast. He doesn't wear glasses anymore. He was having a lot of stomach issues. He couldn't even eat a lot of certain things. Even spices bothered him, and he doesn't have those issues anymore. And so, I mean, it just incredible healing for him. And me, yeah, I've been sick for a long time. And I mean, I could go through all the different stuff I've had, but it has healed so many things in me already. You know, the body knows what to heal first. The occipital neuralgia, though, is a little bit different. It's nerve related, and it has something to do with, my structure, my posture. I don't, know, but Dr. Filonov knows something. So he's got something planned for me. So I need more, than just the fasting for that. So that's why they wanted me to come and just do the treatments. And leeches seem to be, really important. And I'm not sure what else they have in store for me, but I always say, I don't know if I can be healed completely. I'm not sure. If according to the U.S., I cannot. I mean, this is an incurable thing, but I have such faith in Dr. Filonov, and if he's gotten me this far where I actually have a life again, if I don't get 100% healed, maybe he could at least get me so, fasting has been huge, where I used to just suffer in pain, and now when I fast, it keeps the pain very tolerable. I can sleep still, I'm not like suicidal. And I don't know, I mean, only God knows what's in store for me. And I've come to the realization that, we're not put on this earth. He never promised us that we're going to be happy and have an easy life. We could have a very hard life, and, but that's just it. That's life. There's nothing, I don't think God doesn't do that to you. But he doesn't prevent it. We're human, and we live in a fallen world, and things happen. And, I just look forward. Life on earth is so short, and eternity is forever. So I figured in heaven someday I'll be 100% cured. So if I can just be tolerable down here, I will be happy. So, but I wanted to also tell you about the trip here. So coming from the U.S., it's quite a long trip. I live in a smaller city, so the biggest airport, or major airport to me, is 3 hours away, which is Chicago. The first trip that we came, we actually flew out of Chicago and had a ride, and we took Turkish Airlines. And that was wonderful. We went to Istanbul, and then straight from Istanbul, we came here. So it was a very easy flight. It went really well. This time I decided to fly out of Appleton. And so I had one extra stop. I went through United Airlines, and I flew into Chicago from my house, or from my hometown. And then from Chicago, I went to London, and from London, I went to Vienna, and then from Vienna, I went here. And even though both trips work fine, it just, when we used Turkish Airlines, it just was so much smoother. And I know there was another lady that was from, I think, I'm from Wisconsin. I think she's from around Boston. I'm not exactly sure. And she recommended Turkish Airlines. She said she's flown other ones too, and she said it seemed to be the simplest. But, this time it was a little bit even worse because my flight got delayed, so I missed a couple flights. I had to get rerouted, so it was kind of a big hassle this time. But The first time we came here last year, they recommend dry fasting when you fly, and I highly recommend it too, because the flights are so full of chemicals and germs and whatever, so it kind of protects you. So we started our fast the day we left. So when we got to the retreat, because it took like 24 hours, so when we got to the retreat, we were on our second day of dry fast. Well, this time, because I'm not fasting at the retreat, Dr. Filonov wanted me to do a 5-day dry fast. So that's what I did. Now, had I known early, like had I had scheduled this earlier, I would have came early and started my trip on my first day and finished, fasting here. But I had already had everything booked. So I left on my 4th day of my dry fast. And it was a little bit, it wasn't bad. And if my plane hadn't gotten delayed, it wouldn't have, I wouldn't have had an issue. I would have been fine. But it was a nightmare working with United Airlines trying to get new flights. It was just horrible. I want to say I shouldn't say this, but yeah, anyways. So that next day, on my 5th day of the dry fast, I was sitting in London, and I was having problems getting my flight to Vienna. And I didn't have the headspace, and just from being on the plane for so long, I was so dry, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. So I ended up drinking water, because I needed to think, I needed to try and find flights, I needed to function. So I ended up breaking my fast, well, with water, and then I water fasted until the next morning after I got here pretty late that night, but it did all work out. But it's not bad, dry fasting. I mean, if I could do it on 4th and 5th day, the 1st and 2nd day of dry fast should be nothing for flying. So it's very doable, and especially for me, because I have such a long trip. I envy these people that come from Germany or Italy. They have like a 2-hour flight, and I'm like, oh, that's so nice. But yeah, I've done it twice now, and this time it went, I mean, even though there was a hassle to it and a delay, it was much easier, because the first time I never really flown. I only flown once before, and it was just within the United States. So this was definitely undertaking for me. So, but it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. And I'm very happy to be here. It's very nice, and I guess that's it. This is the first day of the 2nd retreat, and I was here for the first one. So now I'm here for the 2nd one. And it's a little bit different, because I'm just here doing the treatments. So it's been very good, though, and I'm very happy to be doing it. I did fast the 4 days between both retreats for more rejuvenation and cleansing, and that went pretty well. During the first retreat, they did leeches. They put leeches on my neck, is where most of my issues are. And I found that I have very stagnant blood there. It's very thick. So as it's been going, I think it's been, from what I understand, it's gotten a bit better. So now this next retreat, I think they're going to do more leeches on my neck. So we'll see how it goes. But I know with the leeches, I do get a little bit more tired the days that I get the leeches. A couple of the times I ended up getting a headache that evening. Nothing too terrible. I've been drinking a lot of water, because that's what they tell you to do so you don't faint. I barely had any dizziness with the leeches. I was kind of surprised. I was expecting a little bit more dizziness, but I was fine, as long as I kept drinking a lot of water. It is a little bit different being here while everybody else is fasting and you're not fasting. I'm just here for the treatments. To be honest with you, I felt maybe a little left out at first, because everybody, what day are you on? And they're all walking. When you fast, you just get into this different mindset. I don't know, I think it's calming for me, and you just kind of, your mind slows down, I think. And obviously I'm not having that this time. But it was fun to see for me because now, now that the first retreat is over, everybody's real kind of slow moving as time goes on. They're getting longer in their fast. A lot of people have their mouths taped, which is very smart. But then everybody starts breaking their fast, and you just see the changes. Everybody gets real chatty and happy and talkative, and so that was fun to see. So that brought everybody together, and it's been a very good experience. So I do not regret doing this at all. So I mean, if anybody else out there has issues like me with blood flow or stagnant blood or mine is nerve pain, and they wanted me to do surgery, but even that in the U.S. or probably other places too with the surgeries, a lot of times they're temporary and they're very invasive, and sometimes they make it worse. You can be a lot worse afterwards. So I did not want to go down that route. So I'm very thankful to be here. I'm not going to know yet until probably I get home because I don't have constant pain. I get the flares. So we'll see when I get home, how it'll be. Maybe my flares, maybe I won't even get one. I don't know. But if I do, maybe it won't be as bad. It's going to be really interesting to see because the first time I got the leeches on my neck, now they've done 3 rounds on my neck so far, and I know on the left side especially, I think my blood is flowing a lot better than it was. Right side is still a little bit thick, but they said it's going a lot better. It's starting to look better, so I'm anxious to see at the end of this retreat how the blood flow is and if there's a lot of difference. Plus, doctor's been doing a lot of stuff with my neck. He takes a hammer and like a stick, and kind of pounds on it, and then a really, really intense massage on the back of my head and my neck. And he was pressing points that I didn't even know I had. I mean, they find all those different pressure points, but I think it's really good because it's opening things up, and I'm really expecting to have a lot of healing from this. So I guess that's all I had to say for today. This is day 10 of the retreat, so there's only a couple days left. I was here for both retreats, and I was here generally for the treatments. I got a lot of leech treatments. It's been going really well. It's been kind of up and down, like I'll get the treatment and then sometimes you get really tired afterwards, but then I get bursts of energy. So it's been way different than coming here and fasting. When they were doing the leech treatments on me, my blood is very thick, so that has a lot to do with my issues. So I have decided to come back in October for both retreats to do this all again. I was able to get 7 leech treatments. I was supposed to get another one tomorrow, but I ended up with an occipital flare. So I have to go into a fast tomorrow. So I will be fasting the last 2 days of the retreat. But that's okay because I just feel like it's all just part of the healing process. And now they kind of got a hold on what's wrong with me. It seems like I don't have good blood flow. And then, they did some adjustments and good massages. And I have no idea what it'll be like in the next 6 months at home, before the next retreat. But, hopefully I'll be more healed. I'm gonna do a 9-day dry fast right now because that's usually what it takes to get the pain to go away. But at least I have that where I can go ahead and go into a fast and then my pain never gets too terrible. So this process is definitely working, but it is a natural process. So your body takes time to heal. It's not going to happen overnight. So I'm embracing all this, even my pain. I'm embracing my pain because I just feel like it's my body just trying to heal itself, and sometimes it just has to you have to go through it, and sometimes it might even get a little bit worse before it gets better. So I've just had a really nice time here. People are always really sweet who come to do this, and I'm looking forward to coming back in the fall. I haven't been to a fall retreat yet, so that'll be interesting, weather-wise. And I have been talking to a few people. It seems like there are a couple other people that might be coming back as well. It seems like they're getting a lot of return people, which is a very good sign, because if you come and do this and then you want to come back, obviously you're getting benefits from it. So anyways, if anybody is interested in trying this, I highly recommend it, for whether you're sick or even just for maintaining your health. So, okay, thank you.